What's going on, y'all? It's Clouds, and I'm in the building. I'm gonna hit y'all with something a little bit different. I just made an appearance on the Anthony Brian Logan show. So I'm just gonna share this with you guys. If you guys like this, press a like on the like button, and then I'll share more of my kind of like social media. Cause I'm trying to get out there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to get out there, do my thing. I don't want to be known as a personality, but at the same time, I'm not scared to speak my opinions. So I'm just gonna give you a little clip of what I shared with Anthony Brian Logan, and maybe give you some insight on why I do the content that I do and why I speak on the issues that I do. So without further ado, let's get into it.
773, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, man. You can just refer to me as Clouds, man. I kind of started doing I've been not following you, but I've heard of you for about, I would say, a year. I've seen you in the different sections on YouTube, the Manosphere, and also on mainstream YouTube doing your thing. I've been kind of nervous, man. I ain't gonna lie. But, I mean, I'm a guy that I'm not going to say I turned conservative, but I kind of woke up to the corruption of the Democratic Party starting in 2016 during the Hillary Clinton, campaign, and learning through all the emails and all the, just all the practices of the Democratic Party, and really started waking up and seeing how the Democrats really, they spread a lot of mistruths and a lot of false policies to secure the black vote. And I kind of woke up to that. And I want to thank you for kind of, enlightening me about that, first off.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm glad you're able to find me and get something from my information for sure.
Yeah. And definitely just to speak on this Kanye piece. I mean, I agree with the brother. I think it's mostly the media. They're trying to tear Kanye down and people like him down because they don't want people thinking. Like, I don't think Kanye even really says that he's conservative or Republican. I think he just sees it as the same way a lot of other people see it. Like, there's this messaging that the Democrats are sending, and it's not positive for the community. It's not positive to hate on the president like this, especially when he's done so much good for America. He's bringing jobs back and stuff like that. This is, the media doesn't want to focus on that. And Kanye, he's bringing stuff like that to light, and they're coming after him. And I just don't think it's right.
Nah, you're right about that. And, I think the main thing here is that you got the midterms coming up, and they're trying to protect their vote. So they don't want somebody like Kanye West, who's really influential, to have an impact and mess up the voting. That's all that it is to it. It ain't nothing really about what he's saying or anything, because he could have said the same exact thing to a liberal person and everything would be fine, because he would not be in the position to try and change the votes away from the liberal people to conservative people. That's all that matters. He could say the exact same thing to Obama and they praise him, because much of what he said was not even conservative. He was talking about prison reform. He was talking about freeing Larry Hoover, abolishing the clause in the 13th Amendment that calls for slavery. A lot of different things he was saying that could be bipartisan, not necessarily conservative. But because he was meeting with Trump and the optics of it looked like he was just siding with Trump regardless of what, that's enough to get the media on his back, because they're nervous about the election coming up.
Right, and they definitely tried everything they did to discredit the man. I mean, I would say a lot of what he said, I wouldn't qualify it as ranting. Maybe, because he's a creative person or because he was nervous. I mean, just imagine you're literally going to meet the president to talk about issues. Like, I would be nervous. Like I said, I'm nervous just on this phone call. So, just to have all that, pressure on you to, represent your position in the right way, I think that's where a lot of the lucid talk came out. Even when he was starting to get into some lucid thing, like, you're tasting the fine wine, I thought some of that was funny. You know what I mean? When he was using those type of terms. But again, they just, the media, the liberal media used that, and they cut out portions of the conference. I mean, this was a 20-minute talk, and you were lucky to see 30 or 45 seconds of it. So they use that to kind of like paint him as, he's unstable. Especially got people like Don Lemon. I mean, I just got to say it. The way that they were talking about Kanye on CNN, I mean, there's no other way to put it. These people are Democratic overseers of the plantation. And anybody that tries to run away from the plantation, that's the type of comeback you can expect. The type of public lynching you can expect if you speak your mind that's not, super liberal. I kind of want to get your take on the reaction to it.
Nah, you're right about that. And I think that these people are always sent out there to do that. They're like attack dogs. As soon as a black person kind of gets out of line, you got to bring in your Don Lemons, your Rollo Martins, your Michael Eric Dysons, all these people to go on television and speak out against them, to do the public lynching. In a way, it's the same thing they did back during slavery. They would lynch somebody publicly, so anybody that wanted to do the same thing that they were accused of doing, not even necessarily did, but accused of doing, it would be a message. Don't anybody else try this. If you try to escape, they'll lynch you publicly, right in front of everybody, all the slaves. So that'd be a message. If you try to leave, this is what's going to happen. It did the same thing to Kanye West, because much of what they said wasn't even substantive. They didn't say anything. Don Lemon was just talking about it was hard to watch. I was cringing. All right, but what did he say was actually wrong or false? They did not talk about the substance of what he said, because if they did, then you have to actually agree with a lot of what he said, rather than just looking so offended and ashamed,
Exactly. And like I said, a lot of the stuff, when you really dig into what he said, I mean, he spoke about supporting the Second Amendment, which should be paramount in the black community. I'll just say, you have all this rampant crime. Why would you be against guns if you're a good citizen? Like, you're using the gun to protect yourself. He said it so eloquently. He was like, guns aren't the problem. Illegal guns are the problem. Criminals having illegal guns are the problem. I don't know what these liberals thinking, like, if they outlaw guns, like, do they just think guns are going to disappear tomorrow? No. The good guys are going to have their guns taken away, and the criminals are going to run around lawless. I don't understand the logic there.
Exactly. They don't think like that. They don't really care about the results of what they're talking about, because they don't live in these areas. They live in nice areas that are gated, plenty of security, and a lot of them, they might even have armed security. Meanwhile, they say to the average person, you can't have guns, and not everybody lives in a nice, safe neighborhood that's gated with armed security. They gotta protect themselves. They think that if the guns are just wiped away by law in a particular place, there will be no gun violence. But that's just not the reality. When the reality does not play out in the way that they intend, they blame other things. Oh, well, they're being brought in from somewhere else. Oh, well, it's legal over there. It's really close by. They're always going to make an excuse, because they can't admit that the things that they thought would actually work are not working.
Right. And it's crazy. These liberal policies are destroying a lot of communities. And I think they know that they're losing their grip on the common American man. They might still have, their people in their liberal strongholds, but for the common man that's just, watching it from afar, maybe just wants to put food on the table for his family, they're seeing the rampant corruption of the Democratic Party. They keep forcing their hand. It could be Brett Kavanaugh one day, and then the next day they're trying to outlaw memes. They're trying to outlaw people from using the MPC meme. So you could just see that they're constantly just on the defensive, trying to, I don't know what, maybe just control the liberal mind state, control people, control the narrative. So, only their thoughts, reign supreme. And it's travesty. Hopefully the American people, more Americans wake up. I salute you. I know you get a lot of pushback from the black community. I done seen it. I'm not going to name any names, but you got to know that there are people supporting you, black, white, Asian, whatever, of all colors. So as long as you keep speaking the truth, people are going to be supporting you, man, no matter what the haters say.
Well, thank you for your support and your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. No problem, ABL. Keep doing it.
All right, now take care.
Yeah, man. So I just posted that there because I thought it was a great back and forth. It was kind of reassuring to see, not only a black man, but just another man that has not even the same perspective, but was able to enlighten me on things, and he was able to expand my perspective on certain topics. So, this is why I like talking to people like ABL, why I like talking to people like Obsidian, and even some of the people that, not speak ill, but some of the counter arguments, like people like BGS and stuff like that, where this is where I learned, I'm going to reveal it, I learned about people like ABL and Obsidian from watching and following people like BGS and people in the manosphere and in the Ibmore. I don't want to call it a movement, but in the Ibmore ideology. So it's always kind of refreshing to see that, I'm not a man on the island. I'm not just saying these things, talking into the wind, that there are people out there that are trying to, share this message and let people know, like, look, I'm not saying that I'm full-blooded 100% conservative, but I do realize that the Democrat Party, since, I don't want to, it might be even earlier than 2016, but they're just pushing a corrupt ideology in order to hold on to power. And I can't support anything like that, just being a man, not even a man of moral, but just, just being a regular dude trying to see, trying to decide right between wrong. So, these talks aren't like a 100% endorsement of the Republican Party, but I'm just keeping my mind open, seeing what's out there. And I'm glad to see people like ABL out there. I'm glad to see people like Obsidian out there. And maybe some people on the center like O'Shea and some people on the left like BGS, and just kind of gain a perspective of what's going on out there. So I'm going to finish it off on, I guess, some of ABL's remarks. And if you guys like seeing clips like this, seeing like clips of me kind of being in certain social media spaces, let me know. And I'll make sure to, keep going out there on social media and spreading the truth and, sharing it with you guys.
All right, shout out to the caller. Definitely appreciate that. I like calls like that to give me a lot of encouragement and let me know that what I'm doing is not going out there in vain. But let me get to my next call.
Yeah, and that's basically why the reason why I go on social media and I call these certain places. So if you're out there, if you guys want me to speak on topics, if you guys want me, if there's more social media spaces that you think I should participate in, let me know. Leave a comment in the box below. You never know where you might catch me next. Man, I'm starting to shoot for the big dogs, man. You might catch me on InfoWars one day, so be on the lookout for that. And with that, I'm Clouds, and I'm out.